Hello guys, welcome back to the Futures and Option video series. In the last video, we saw what futures are. And in this video, we'll only be talking about options. So options are basically a little more complex than futures because futures was a single contract that will have a buyer and a seller, right? So if the price of the asset is going up, the buyer will make a profit. Whereas if the price of the asset is coming down, the seller will end up in profit. Whereas options are basically contingent claims. So what exactly is a contingent claim? So to understand this, uh, let's take an example of a car insurance. So car insurance is a contingent claim because we exercise the car insurance only when a particular event is happening. That is, when let's say you meet with an accident, right? In that scenario, you'll exercise your contract and you'll take the claim, right? So this is an example of a contingent claim. And since options are also contingent claims, while pricing options, we have to consider a lot of factors into it. We have to consider vega, we have to consider delta, we have to consider the theta decay. So all these factors have to be considered while we are pricing options, and this increases the complexity of options. But you don't have to worry about the complexity of options. What I'll do is I'll take you through the concepts of options, and I'll help you understand in what exact scenarios you'll be making profit, and in what scenarios you'll end up in a loss. So without any further delay, let's jump into the concepts. So what is options? Options is basically a contract that gives its buyer the right to buy or sell a particular asset, but it is not an obligation for the buyer. That is, if it is favorable for the contract buyer, he is going to exercise the contract, and if it is not favorable for the buyer of the contract, he will not exercise the contract. And the right to buy is basically known as the call option, and the right to sell is known as a put option. And let's understand this with an example. So let's say I went to a gold shop and I said, "Hey, I wanted to buy 20 grams of gold at 5,000 rupees per gram, and I want this transaction to happen on 31st of January. And I want this contract in such a way that ki, if the price of gold goes higher, I I will be exercising this contract at 5,000 rupees. But if the price of the gold falls below 5,000 rupees, I am not going to exercise this contract." So what the shopkeeper will tell is, in order to give you this flexibility, I'm going to charge a premium. I'm going to charge a premium. Let's say he charges us somewhere around 50 rupees. So what will happen is, the price of gold is 5,000 rupees, and let's say it went to 5,500 rupees. So in this scenario, we'll exercise the contract because obviously we are making 500 rupees profit, right? Making 500 rupees profit, but we have already paid a premium of 50 rupees, eventually making a 450 rupees profit. And let's say if the price goes down to 4,500 rupees, if in futures you would still have to exercise this contract, that is making a loss of 500 rupees. But what happens in this scenario is, we'll tell the shopkeeper that I'm not going to exercise this contract. You can keep the premium which I have paid you. So the maximum loss which I am going to incur here is the premium. So this is called a call option, wherein I have the right to buy. I have the right to buy at 5,000 rupees on 31st of January. And if the price goes below 5,000 rupees, I'll simply not exercise the contract. Similarly, if there was a person who wanted to sell gold at 5,000 rupees and he paid, let's say, 50 rupees of premium for that, this person will be holding a put option. So the call option is basically the right to buy an asset, and the put option is the right to sell an asset. Now let's see, why is there a need to have two different contracts. So let's say there is a person X and there is a person Y. X want to have the right to buy, whereas Y wants to have the right to sell. What happened in futures was, in futures, if there was a buyer and there was a seller, we made we made them get into a contract so that if the price goes up, the buyer will make a profit, and if the price goes down, the seller will make profit. But in options, what happens is, when we make these two people X and Y come and form a contract, what will happen is there will be a conflict between these two people. Why? Because let's say the price is 5,000 rupees and the price went till 5,500 rupees. In this scenario, X will tell, I want to continue with the contract, whereas Y will tell, I don't want this transaction to happen, because he has the right to tell. And in this scenario, there will be a conflict. Similarly, when the price drops down to 4,500, person Y would be happy to continue with the contract, whereas person X will say, I don't want to continue with the contract. So again, there will be a conflict. So for that reason, we cannot make these two entities come and form a contract. So what will happen is, these two people have to get into contracts with some other people. Let's say person A and person B gets into contract with X and Y. So this is a contract between X and A, and this is a contract between Y and B. So this person over here is called as a call writer or call seller. Similarly, B is known as put writer or put seller. That is, these people give X and Y the right to either buy, the X can buy or Y can sell. So this contract is known as a call option. This contract is known as a put option. Now let's take an example of a company XYZ which is traded at 5,000 rupees per share, and let's say there is a contract which has a lot size of 200 shares, and let's say the price is 5,000 rupees and the expiry date is 31st of January. So let's say again there is a person X who is a call buyer, right? And there is a person Y who is a put buyer. And let's say these two people paid a premium of 10 rupees to carry out the contract, to carry out this transaction at 5,000 rupees each, right? So first let us understand what will happen when a person goes and buy the contract. So the price was 5,000 rupees, right? And he paid a premium of, let's say these people paid a premium of 20 rupees and not 10 rupees. So the price, let's say it goes till 5,020 rupees, 5,040 rupees, and so on. Let's say 6,000 rupees. Similarly, in this scenario, 4,980, and let's say 4,500. And in this scenario, 5,000, 5,020, 6,000, and 4,980, 4,960, and 4,000. Now let's see what will happen when the price moves from 5,000 to 6,000. Okay, so person X has the right to carry out this transaction as at 5,000 rupees, right? So what will happen? He'll end up making a profit of 1,000 rupees, because the worth of XYZ share is 6,000, but he has a contract wherein he can buy it at 5,000. Eventually, he's making a profit of 1,000 rupees, but he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees. So, on net, he is going to make a profit of 1,000 rupees in this transaction. And let's see what happens when the price moves to 6,000 and what happens to the put contract. So he has the right to sell at 6,000, but the market price is at 6,000. So he is going to make a loss of 1,000 rupees. Why? Because he could have sold the shares of XYZ at 6,000, but now he is only able to sell at 5,000 rupees, and he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees. So eventually making the net loss to 1020 rupees. But what will happen is person Y will tell I'm not going to carry out this transaction and I'll accept my 20 rupees premium loss. He'll just not carry out the transaction. And let's say what will happen when the price is 4500 rupees. So he has the right to carry out the contract at 5000 rupees, right? So basically the XYZ share value is 4500 rupees, but he is buying at 5000 rupees. So eventually he is making a loss of 500 rupees and he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees. That is, on net he is making 520 rupees loss. But person X will tell I'm not going to carry out this transaction because I will let go my premium of 20 rupees and I'll accept a loss of 20 rupees in this scenario. What will happen to person Y if it is 5000 4500? So he still has the right to sell the XYZ share at 5000 even though the price is at 4500. So eventually he's going to make a profit of 500 rupees, but he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees. So on net he is going to make a profit of 480 rupees profit. Now let's see what will happen at 5000 rupees if the price did not move at all. So there will be no profit, no loss in this scenario, right? But they have already paid a premium of 20 rupees each, right? So eventually making their loss to be 20 rupees, right? And what will happen if the so so in this entire scenario, person X will not exercise his contract and will make a loss of 20 rupees. Whereas if the price keeps on moving higher, person Y will not exercise the contract and he'll end up losing his 20 rupees premium, right? So let's consider one more example. Let's say the price moved till 5020 rupees, right? And he has the right to buy at 5000 rupees, so eventually making a 20 rupees profit, right? But he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees, so his net profit or loss would be 0 rupees. That is, he did not make a profit nor make a loss. That is, this 5020 rupees is the break even point for X. Similarly, if we consider 4080, that is 20 point move downwards, he still has the right to sell XYZ share at 5000 rupees, right? So eventually he is going to make a 20 rupees profit here. Why? Because he is selling the share at 5000 rupees, whereas the market price of the share is only 4900 rupees, right? So eventually he is making a profit of 20 rupees. But he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees. That is, his net gain or net loss in this transaction is 0 rupees. So this is the break even point for person Y. So how would the graph of this look like? So let's erase this first. Let's erase this numbers. And he made a profit of plus 980 rupees in this transaction, right? And Y made a profit of 480 rupees on this transaction. Yeah, now let's go ahead and erase everything. So what happens is person X is going to have a maximum loss of 20 rupees, and this is the break even point, right? So this is the break even point, and he is going to have a profit of 980 if it is 6000, and eventually his profits will keep increasing as the price is moving forward. So X will make a profit when the price is moving higher, and he will make a loss of 20 rupees when the price is going lower. And this break even point is basically the price 5000 rupees plus the premium which he paid, that is 5020 rupees. Similarly, similarly, person Y would make a loss of 20 rupees till 5000, and this will be his break even point, and this will be the point where he is going to make a profit. So this is the region where he is going to make a profit, and this is the region where he'll end up in a loss, and he'll have a maximum loss of 20 rupees. But one thing which we did not discuss is what happens between the current price and this 20 price move is, let's say the price is 4990 rupees, right? And since he has the right to carry out this transaction at 5000 rupees, so he's making a profit of 10 rupees, but he has already paid a premium of 20 rupees, making his net loss to be 10 rupees. So in this scenario, his net loss would be only around 10 rupees. Similarly, when the price is at 5000 10 rupees, his net loss would be 10 rupees. So that is why we do not have a profit from 5020 rupees to 5000 rupees, but our losses would be less than 20 rupees. So this is how exactly the graph will look like for a call buyer and a put buyer. So that's it for today, guys. In the coming video, we'll discuss the perspective of sellers as well, and what exactly is the kind of capital required to carry out such transactions. Thank you.